When I arrived at the rehabilitation center that morning, the nurses were unusually quiet. Normally, the place was full of movement, patients walking in the courtyard, nurses chatting softly, files moving from one office to another. But that day, there was a tension in the air. "Something happened?" I asked. One of the nurses nodded toward the end of the corridor. "Room 12, she said. I walked slowly toward the door. Inside, sitting on the edge of the bed, was a young girl. She looked about 19. Her hair was messy, her eyes swollen like someone who had cried for hours. Her name was Nemi. She didn't look up when I entered. I pulled a chair beside the bed and sat down gently. "My name is Daniel," I said softly. "I'm a counselor here. I'm not here to force you to talk. But if you want someone to listen, I'm here." For almost 5 minutes she said nothing. Silence is something many people fear. But in counseling, silence is where stories slowly begin to breathe. Then suddenly her shoulders started shaking. Tears rolled down her face. "I shouldn't have come here," she whispered. "Why?" I asked gently. She wiped her face quickly, almost embarrassed by the tears. "Because if people find out, my life is over." I leaned forward slightly. "What happened to you, Nemi?" She stared at the floor for a long time before answering. Finally she said the words slowly. "I was assaulted." Her voice broke halfway through the sentence. The story came out in pieces. 3 months earlier, she had attended a birthday gathering at a friend's apartment. Someone she trusted offered to walk her home because it was late. Instead of taking her home, he drove somewhere else. She fought, she cried, she begged. But fear froze her voice. After that night, everything changed. She stopped attending classes. She stopped seeing friends. She avoided mirrors because she felt like a different person was staring back. But the worst part, she said, wasn't only what happened that night. It was what happened after. She tried telling a friend once. The friend asked the question survivors dread the most. "Are you sure?" Another person asked something worse. "Why did you go with him?" Those questions buried her deeper in silence. So she stopped talking. But trauma doesn't disappear when ignored. It slowly grows heavier. She couldn't sleep. Every loud sound made her panic. Every time a man walked behind her on the street, her heart started racing. "I feel like I'm broken," she said quietly. That sentence is one I have heard many times from survivors. But I told her something very important. "Nemi, something terrible happened to you. But what happened does not define who you are." She looked up at me for the first time. Her eyes were full of confusion. "I don't feel strong," she said. "That's because you think strength means never breaking," I replied. "Real strength is surviving something that should have destroyed you." Over the next weeks, Nemi slowly began talking more. She met another girl in the center named Tony who had experienced a different kind of trauma from domestic violence. Tony once told her something that changed her perspective. "You know the strange thing about pain?" Tony said. "It convinces you that you're alone. But when people start speaking honestly, you realize many people are fighting similar battles." That was the moment Nemi began understanding something powerful. Her silence was protecting the wrong person. Many survivors in our communities remain quiet not because they want to hide the truth, but because society sometimes makes it harder to speak than to suffer silently. But the more we talked, the more she realized her story could help others. Months later, she volunteered at a support group for young women. One day a girl sat across from her crying and whispered the same words she once said. "I feel broken." Nemi held her hand gently and replied, "You're not broken. You're healing." And that's the truth many people in our communities need to hear. Survivors are not weak. They are people who experienced harm and are slowly reclaiming their lives. The girl in room 12 did not remain a victim forever.
Thank you for watching Social Work TV. Please subscribe, like, comment, and share.
Myra grew up in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. Her childhood was shaped by two constant presences, the beauty of her homeland and the harsh reality of oil pollution. Where others saw rivers and trees, Myra saw swampy oil and shredded shrubs, landscape and lives blighted by contamination and loss. Kilongo, our ancestral land, bears the scars of relentless oil exploration. Empty streets, ruined farmlands, and quiet communities mark the cost of exploitation. From an early age, Myra carried the weight of these losses and the conviction that things must change. She imagined different livelihoods, a different community, a different world. That conviction became action. Myra helped build a movement that grew into one of the world's most transformative NGOs, focused on climate change and youth and women's leadership. In 2000, she helped launch Emerging Leaders, a program that taught climate science, sustainability, and climate action to a new generation. By 2015, she was invited to the United Nations for the launch of the Sustainable Development Goals, an invitation that opened a new chapter in her work. Myra founded Club 17 Africa to mobilize climate action across communities, schools, and displacement camps. She worked with people of every age to build resilience, to ease eco-anxiety, and to push back against pollution. Over decades, Kilongo rebuilt itself. New structures, policies, and educational efforts began to reshape mindsets and restore hope. Today, Kilongo works with oil-producing communities and companies under new memoranda of understanding. The choice, Myra insists, must belong to the people: keep the oil in the ground or drill responsibly. Responsible drilling, governed by gender-inclusive laws and participatory processes, has been central to her advocacy. She is currently campaigning for a new act that ensures inclusion and that the community's voice is heard. Partners across the UN, civil society, and local groups have supported this work. What began as a half-century of struggle is now a living story of recovery and agency. 25 years after founding her organization, Myra has passed the torch, nurturing emerging leaders who will protect tomorrow and redefine sustainable development. Kilongo has been reborn with a new name and a new promise.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to get notification whenever we post a story, and like, comment, and share.
Every day, in our communities, there are voices we do not hear, pain we do not see, lives silently breaking with no place to turn. For 25 years, the Centre for Development Support Initiatives, CEDSI, has stood with the vulnerable, the forgotten, and the underserved. Now, to mark our 25th anniversary, we are embarking on a mission that will change lives for generations to come. We are donating a fully functional social work and psychosocial clinic, a sanctuary where survivors of rape, molestation, abuse, trauma, and gender-based violence can walk in and finally breathe again. There are girls still carrying the wounds of rape. There are boys fighting battles they cannot explain, women trapped in violence, youth drowning in depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. Families quietly breaking apart. Many of them have nowhere safe to go, no trained counsellor, no confidential support, no healing space. This clinic will provide a safe and confidential shelter for survivors, trauma counselling and psychosocial support, gender-based violence response services, mental health and emotional well-being programs, family therapy and crisis intervention, case management, documentation and research support, training opportunities for social work students and